Well, good morning and welcome to Buddha's in Your Landfill or your moment of Zen. And it's St. Patrick's Day. And I went to Costco yesterday, and when you go in there, they have a lot of stuff on the left. And I just reached over and grabbed a big box of Irish Spring soap. And I'm not sure, I didn't know why I did it. It was a spontaneous thing. And then when I got home, I found out it was St. Patrick's Day today. So I showered with a bar of Irish Spring soap. And I have enough to last me for the rest of my life. So yesterday we left off talking about, well, I think we mentioned Mad Men as an extended metaphor for the modern image man, the image man. We all live in an image of ourselves. Take a selfie. That's an image. You're an image. I'm an image. Is my image good? Does my image look good? How's my image? Do I need to get a facelift? Do I need to lose weight, gain weight, perfect my image? Then my mind is an image. Should I get my mind better? Everything is an image or a thought. You see, an image. So we live in this world of thought, of the image. Even the skyscrapers in New York City all are now billboards, or graffiti, or art, or if there's any blank space anywhere, we put an image on it. It's kind of like my house sometimes, because if there's an open space, we put something on it, until all the open space is filled up. And then we have to clean the house. So this whole idea we were looking at yesterday was modern mind as image mind, and this is a split mind that has lost the Garden of Eden, or wholeness, or the ground. So let's pick that up today and continue to pull this thread out. These talks are essentially a meandering journey. So I'm inviting you to walk with me as we figure out how to get out of this labyrinth. If remember, we started this talk about the myth of Theseus and the labyrinth, and the Minotaur, and Ariadne's thread. so that where the modern life is a labyrinth, we're always at crossroads of choices. Should I go this way or that? And that's what a labyrinth is. Both of them look okay. So if I choose that, maybe I should have chose that one. Or if I choose that, well, maybe that one would have been better. So whatever we choose, there's a leftover to it, a little guilt. I should have done that. I should have done something better. I could have been better. I'm sorry, I could have been better. That whole idea of choices multiplying, because we believe freedom is choice. So the illusion here is that, well, if freedom is choice, then we will be more free if we have more choices. So we have a proliferation of choices, which becomes a paralysis, which the Hurt Locker, if you remember that movie, pointed out dramatically with the Iraqi bomb demolition guy back in America at the supermarket, and he's looking at a canyon of choices, and he's paralyzed. And I feel that. I think when I'm sent to the supermarket with a list to get something, and the list doesn't break down all of the different choices that are available. And with this is very obvious. But the whole idea is that we're living in a fragmented reality of unlimited choices and images, and there is no grasp of the whole. There is no grasp of truth. So we're in a truth crisis today. And this is very obvious in our news and our political environment right now, where there is an actual attack on truth, if we had truth in the first place. But what little truth we had is being attacked with alternative truth. So you have choices of truth. Is it this? And then who's the authority? You see what I mean? This is a continuing fragmentation of the feeling of being in exile from the garden of truth. And I use this garden and Adam, and I use this metaphor because, to me, I work with it because it's a metaphor and not something factual in history. No, I work with it as a metaphor of us. So we are Adam, exiled from the garden of wholeness or truth, wandering around looking for the entrance back into truth. So we're going to look at what truth is for a moment and change, because we really, every day I kind of like, it's like going around a mountain. They say the mountain is truth, but you only see one view at a time, like one overlook. So you keep stopping at different overlooks and say, oh, look at the mountain. It looks different from this view. And then you go down and, oh, look at there, and it's different from there. So truth, you never see the whole mountain from your viewpoint. So we're going to look at that a little bit today. Look at the other idea I want to look at today is this idea of dharma. This is a Sanskrit word. It means truth of life, is probably the best translation, but it's not like a scientific truth or an intellectual truth or a conceptual truth that you can think about and write about and store in your memory and take credit for and get an award for, or figure out how to open or fix your computer with. Dharma truth is, first of all, it's dynamic and it's a discovery. So Dharma truth has to be discovered. So if you want to put it in religious terms, it's a revelation. It's a discovery. It's revealed. And you can't get at it through effort. So Dharma truth then would be revealed truth. And what is revealed is not intellectual truth that that already has been discovered and written down. It is a grasp of the whole that puts the broken cup back together. It's a grasp of the totality of your situation, not the totality of the whole cosmos, but you are the cosmos. You are the world, and the world is you. So Dharma truth would be a sudden revelation or grasp of your truth. Who am I? What should I do here? What is the truth here? So this Dharma truth is the answer to the question, what is the truth here? And the truth is the whole that cannot be made into something known. Because as soon as it's something known, reality, which is constantly changing, has moved on, and you're still holding the truth of reality, which is no longer now. This is kind of like when you look at the stars, and you see the stars, or you look in a telescope and you see a star dying. That star is already dead. You're just seeing the truth of that star after the light got to us for the thousands of years or whatever, the light years away. So you're already looking at the past. So all information, all scientific, all conceptual truth is like that. We're looking at the truth of a universe that has already moved on. So Dharma truth sees the universe, sees your world, not the universe as an object, but it sees your world as it is right now. Bam, like a flashbulb going on. I've used this analogy before. If you're in a dark room and you've got a flashlight, This is your intellectual knowledge, and there's a chair, there's a light, there's a picture, and you put together the room, but the room is dynamic, so it's always changing. So you never catch up and get the whole room this way. The only way you see the whole room as it is right now is with the flash of light that somebody flicks the light on, boom, you see. In Zen, this is called Satori or Kensho. Or in Christianity, it would be like a revelation. It would be like light. Light comes on and you see the whole, and then the mind that has like an inertia, the image mind will come back, and the me will come back and say, oh, how smart I am. You see. All right, so let's take a look at this in a little more detail. I read another haiku this morning. This kind of like, I like to look at these haikus, and it kind of like grounds me for the talk. And the haiku this morning was, but for the woodpecker tapping at the post, no sound at all in the house. But for the woodpecker tapping at the post, no sound in the house at all. No sound at all in the house. Now, I was thinking this is, these haikus are metaphors or portals for a shift in viewpoint from the outside to the inside, from intellectual knowledge to Dharma truth. So let's see if we can parse this out a little bit. So we often experience this where you're sitting it's very quiet. Maybe you're on the porch, and you hear the woodpecker tapping at the post. That's a very common experience. But then he says, no sound at all in the house. Now, the poet, literally, you're talking about a house and a woodpecker. That's known knowledge. That's working with our grammar, our language. There's a woodpecker, that's an object, and here's a house, and it's quiet in here. But the haikus are Zen haikus, so they're kind of like Zen koans. They're putting together viewpoints to create a Dharma insight. So let's see if we can put that together. So all the house. So no sound at all in the house. So what is the house? Well, there's no sound mean that there is no thinking. The house is the mind, or the poet, and there's no sound in the house. Sound is movement. So there's no movement in the house. And sound is, and thought is movement. So there's no thought in the house. There's stillness in the house. And stillness means no movement of the mind, you see. So there is just the tapping of the woodpecker, but there is no poet there thinking about the woodpecker saying, oh, that's a woodpecker tapping. It sure is quiet in here. So this is a kind of like a breakthrough, like a sudden shift where you are not thinking or looking at the woodpecker and the poet in the house, but now you suddenly shift and you are the woodpecker sound and your house is still. You see, suddenly you are the woodpecker, the sound, and there's nobody there commenting about it. There's nobody there talking about it in your mind about how interesting the woodpecker is, even naming it. We all do this. We have the experience when we relax the mind and you hear a sound and you disengage yourself from naming it. So there's just the sound and it has no name. There's just the sound with no name, you see. But as soon as you name it, now you're comparing it, you're pulling it up. Well, I know what that sound is. That is this or that, and it's not as loud as it was yesterday. And now we got a Facebook commentary going on in our mind about the sound we're hearing. But prior to that, there's nobody there. There's just the sound, just this. And just this is awareness as. So we've got two different awarenesses in our human consciousness. The one we live in, the one that is dominant in our culture, the one that makes stuff, the one that gives us an orientation in space and time, is awareness of. So we are aware of stuff. This is called I-it. I-it awareness. As soon as there's an it, there's an I who's aware of it. So I and it come up together like this. Two hands in the same mind, I and it. I aware of you is an it. You're aware of me is an it. I'm also aware of me as an it talking to you. So now I got an it talking to an it. And you're aware of yourself listening to me and it listening to an it, you see. So everything's an it or an image. Image. This is getting back to the image man, you see. So an it is an image, you know. It is a form. It is a form. But there is another awareness that is prior to that is the ground of this awareness of, this it awareness. There is an awareness that has no its, that is prior to name and form. But infants live in that, and you can watch your babies. They're in an awareness as everything. They have not made themselves into an it yet, and they don't know any its. Nothing has a name. Everything is awareness, like in Space Odyssey. Remember that awareness of the Space Odyssey 2001? That awareness as prior to I'm and it being aware of that, you see. So it rises up out of awareness as. Awareness as has no boundaries. There's nobody there. There's no person there. Nobody owns it. Awareness as is like the ocean, and then the waves come up as its, you see. So this stillness, when you talk about stillness, this stillness of, and Eckhart Tolle talks about this, the stillness of now. So now is prior to my awareness of now as a bunch of its, which is in time with me as an it in time, you see. And all of this is a secondary awareness that rises up out of this primary awareness as. Now, I connect this up with the Garden of Eden. So the Adam, before he named everything, is awareness as. He is in the garden as the garden. He hears the woodpecker as the woodpecker before he names it a woodpecker, which also names himself as somebody who hears the woodpecker, you see. So just the sound of the woodpecker before you say, I hear a woodpecker, is just this, just the sound. That's it. That there is nobody there to hear it. There is just the sound. It's heard, but there is nobody separate from the sound. We experience this, but we don't have a map to understand it. We all have moments, and we call these moments of wonder, awe, beauty. We call them spiritual moments, awakening moments, falling in love. Romantic love is an experience of awareness as the other person. Each is aware of the other as themselves. There's nobody separate. See, so this is but it's a very exclusionary relationship. It's not one with the whole world. It's just with the other person, where the two become one. This awareness as is a subjective awareness where there's no boundaries to it. So it is awareness as before it becomes awareness of something, which creates the person aware of the I-it. So we can pull this back together again to the Garden of Eden metaphor. And this connects, I connect this up with the Buddha, who is sitting under a tree where he has the awakening of awareness as is the enlightenment of the Buddha. In other words, the awakening of awareness as, which is primary or prior to awareness of, which is our consciousness of I and it, you see. So this is when they talk about Buddha nature. So Buddha nature is our own awareness as before we become something aware of something. It's the ground of awareness. And you can't go there with awareness of and look at it. Because then you're still making it into an it and an I. So it is from this awareness that our grasp of the whole truth comes. So as soon as, if there is a collapse, you see, when there is a collapse in awareness of the I, it, when there is a collapse of that or a surrender of it, suddenly awareness, truth comes up like a light. I see, I know, I'm certain, I have no doubt, I'm free. See, this also is the free from what? Free from boundaries, free from definition, free from being imprisoned in names. I'm free to create, you see. So this is also creativity. So let's leave it there. We'll pick up this tomorrow. And think about this during the day, where you just relax your effort to choose, like you're in the Walmart and you've got all these choices, and you can't choose, there's too many, you're in a labyrinth. So you relax, you surrender the effort, you say, I can't choose. And out of that collapse of this, this is a tension, you see, between I and it, the relax of the tension and the tension with the world, we just pick something. You just reach and grab the Irish Spring. Don't know why. You just do it, you see. And then it fits. You see, from under the Bodhi tree, from awareness, everything is whole. So whatever you do fits the whole. You do this spontaneously and someone else says, well, why did you do that? That's silly. You don't need it. Why did you do that? You see, well, that's from the I-it view. But when you surrender that and you just do something spontaneously, you'll discover that it was just the right thing to do. Because everything is whole underneath this fragmented world of images we live in. But we don't trust that, you see. We think we have to put it back together. We think we have to fix Humpty Dumpty. But it's already fixed. It's already whole. But it's a dynamic whole. It's not a static whole. It's not something that was whole in the past and we got to get back to it. It's not in the future. It's not in the future or the past. It's now. Now is whole. But we can't know that unless we surrender our belief that it's already broken and screwed up. So let's leave it at that, and we'll pick up tomorrow. And I'll see you tonight at Martini time.